Hey, this is Akebono Gregory Monovis Jr. This is show number 226, recorded on Sunday, December 18th, 2017. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all you out there, and a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah as well to my chosen people. I think we're still in Hanukkah, but I always remember the first day, but not the last. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but it doesn't stop me from saying Happy Hanukkah to my Jewish friends. But as far as keeping up with the 8 crazy nights, as they call them, I guess it's I don't know. I'm not good at math, anyways. How's everyone doing? Star Wars is here, and got another good podcast, good show for y'all here today. So let's jump right into the recap. So Thanksgiving Day was great, and just enjoyed time with friends and family, and of course had to watch Macy's in New York, one of my favorite places to visit, and my niece was up there, so she got to see it for the first time. It looked a little cold, but she said it actually wasn't that bad. But based on a picture, she had a nice long thick jacket on, so I'm sure that helped. And so Thanksgiving Day was great. Just did my usual running around and hanging out with friends and family, and really enjoyed myself. And recently I've gotten back into lifting weights. Not that I've ever stopped exercising. Anyone that knows me is that I'm an avid exercise person. I yearn for it. I need it. I'm full of energy, and it's a good way to expel some of that extra energy, and also help you with any stress if any of those are dealing with stress. We all deal with stress, right? So it's a great outing. But a buddy of mine, he was able to get me into LA Fitness as a guest membership. Now, the only catch is I have to go with him, and he is a retired first sergeant in the Army, and also an ROTC teacher at my high school, my alumni high school. So he's a teacher now. The catch is I have to meet him there at 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. So I'm a morning person, so it wasn't too bad to adjust, but I still need to get up a good 45 minutes before I meet him, because I just need my coffee. I'm a coffee person through and through. Just need to be able to get that in me and get going. But it's been great, and it's not that I can that's not that I've, like I said, stopped doing other exercises. I'm just mixing it up a little bit. I'm still running and doing yoga and doing my HIIT training on Sunday. Had to take a little break from running because I pulled and popped my calf the other day. It really hurt. I was worried because I love driving my Mustang, and the Mustang is a stick shift manual, and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to push the clutch in, because it popped when I was out running and doing sprints, and I immediately collapsed. But I was able to do a little judo roll, so that never leaves you from my childhood taking judo. So didn't hurt myself doing the judo roll, and just had to stretch it out in the field, and boy, walk slowly back to the house. But luckily there's a park here. It's an athletic field, so not a park per se, but I was able to walk back to my house very slowly, and just ice and heat in the spa. And I have a TENS device. It's that electric stimulator, and but within a day it already started feeling better. But like Saturday I did yoga, and it'd been a while, and I did a little vinyasa. Those of you that know yoga, and when I popped into the vinyasa, the calf just said, we're not healed yet. What are you doing? Hello. So I'm not going to run anytime soon. I just gotta let that heal. What else has been going on? A friend of mine from USF that I knew, we worked together at USF and taught classes together. I went to her son's 2-year-old birthday, and that was a blast. They got a jump. I didn't participate because I was the one filming. Maybe I could have participated in the jump, but I let the kids do that. And plus, I had a place to go afterwards, so I really didn't want to get too sweaty. And it was a little warm that day. You know, that's the thing about Florida. We usually have our AC on at Christmas time, and I know to our friends up north, they're like, well, that's not really Christmas. Well, I'll take that over sun and a little bit of heat over overcast and cold. Even a buddy of mine, he lives in Toledo, Ohio, just about 3 or 4 days ago, we were on the Xbox, and we're chatting on the headset, and I can talk to him as clear as day. That's how awesome the tech is now. And he says, yeah, I had a shovel earlier, and I just started laughing. I don't know why that was funny. but just the concept of it, I mean, it's mid-December, and they got hit with their first snow. I was like, yeah, have fun with that. So yeah, so the birthday party was great, and then had to go to my niece's Brandon High School cross-country banquet, and I was just having a blast with the kids. I mean, just interacting and joking, and I filmed that too, so both of those videos are on my YouTube channel, and just having a great time. And my brother, he got annoyed with me. He was like, will you just sit down? And the thing is, he's 2 weeks older than me, and it's like such a different contrast because the kids really don't know him. Brian's my brother. He's my best friend. He's a great guy. It's just not on the too friendly side around the kids, or they scare him per se. So it's pretty amazing that, we're the same age, and most of the team, especially the girls, know me, since my niece is on the cross country team. So I really got to know a lot of the girls on the team. Know some of the boys too. They're cool. They know who I am. And just having a blast with them. And it's a small world because the cross country coach is my buddy who I work out with, who I lift weights with. So I mean, it's amazing how you find people. And I knew him from other friends, so it was like, wait a minute, you're a cross country coach at Brandon High School, and you're ROTC, retired first sergeant. We're brothers in arms here. Even though I'm a Marine, he's Army. It doesn't matter. We're still brothers in the military. And so he did his speech and put together a video for him, and I had a good time. And I had to go use the facilities, not to be graphic or nasty, but it was right across the hallway from the ROTC building in the boys' locker room. And walking in there was like being back in 1991 again. So granted, this is at my high school that I went to. I graduated there in 91, and my niece, when's she going to graduate there? 2020. So 29 years later, she's graduating after me. But, I still got a couple more years to let that absorb in. So anyways, yeah, just had to go in. And as soon as I walked in the locker room, I'm like, oh, my gosh, it smells the same. It looks the same. It just all hit me with nostalgia at once. It was hilarious. Of course, I had to take a picture of that and send it to all my friends on Facebook. I'm in contact from my high school alumni association, and got some good reactions out of it. So yeah, that was a trip down memory lane. Even my buddy who's the teacher there, he goes, I bet you a lot of this is still the same when you went here. And I was like, yeah, it is. I mean, the same floor tile, same lockers in the hallway. Again, the same smell. Amazing how smell can give you memories, right? What else was happening here? Oh, a Disney day. Oh, my gosh. Been looking forward to doing this for a while, especially after semi-disaster we had in October. But I have not been able to go to Disney with my niece much this semester because she has been so busy. Those kids, sophomore in high school, playing softball, running cross country. She ain't got time for her uncle, but I'm just kidding. We finally were able to plan a date and go to Disney, and I brought along my new Canon M100 Mini SLR. So my new toy, my new camera I got to test out on this trip. Took excellent pictures. I mean, so much better than our camera phones. I mean, our camera phones are convenient. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love my iPhone. I do, but it doesn't compare. It's like night and day. Sorry about the drama in the background. If you heard that, I have one cat that likes to torment the other and cry bloody murder. So hopefully that didn't pick up. But if you did hear that, sorry, and enjoy the sound effects. So anyways, we went to Animal Kingdom at first to try to see if we can get into Pandora. Even first thing in the morning, wasn't happening. 2-hour wait. And I had fast passes at Magic Kingdom, so we went over to Everest, waited all of 15 minutes, and got on Everest and did that. And it was a little cold and rainy that day, so I brought in my big umbrella, and we were able to hide underneath the umbrella. And everyone was like, "Man, where'd you get that big umbrella at?" I was like, "Costco. It's a golf umbrella." I don't living in Florida, man. I don't do those small umbrellas. They're just a waste of time. Yeah, it's convenient. You can carry it around or whatever. But it's like, what difference does it make if you're carrying it around? Carry an umbrella that's going to keep you dry. So everyone, not everyone, but I had a lot of people asking, where'd you get that umbrella from? I was like, it's Costco, or just go to a sporting goods place, Dick's Sporting Goods. They go to the golf section. They sell golf umbrellas. They're great. Hey, it kept us dry. It was working. So after Animal Kingdom, just a short stint, we went over to Magic Kingdom and just drove over because I knew that was going to be our last stop of the day. Didn't do MGM or Epcot that day, but I had fast passes to the Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain and Thunder Mountain. So we hit up Haunted Mansion first, and I try to record Haunted Mansion. I always wanted to get this on video, but shooting in the dark is very, very tricky. Now, had I brought my main SLR, it most likely would have worked. But even with my new mini camera, still wasn't picking up. And I've filmed Pirates of the Caribbean before on my SLR, and it came out great. And people are like, man, how'd you record Pirates of the Caribbean? You know, I always try on my phone and it never works. I was like, because it's not really a real camera. I mean, it is a camera, but you know what I mean? It's not just designed, your phone is designed for a lot more, right? It just happens to include a camera. The camera is designed exactly for what it's for. But again, dark night shots are very, very tricky to do, and Haunted Mansion was just way too dark even for the new camera. So we're going to have to try it out next time with my main SLR. I just didn't want to carry the big, bulky camera around, you know. I mean, yeah, it's got a strap. I can strap it over my shoulder, but, you know, I'll bring it next time. It's no big deal, but I'm still happy with the mini camera I have. So yeah, we did Haunted Mansion, checked in on the House of Hall of Presidents. They're not open yet, but will be open within the next few weeks, and the new president will be included. But they also said they had major refurbishments inside, completely rewired everything, and so that was the official story on the delay. So we had to skip that. And we kind of just walked around for a little bit. I said, well, let's go ride Pirates of the Caribbean, because between Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean, that's actually my two favorite rides at Magic Kingdom. And Pirates was like a 45-minute wait. Turned out to only be about 30 minutes. Really wasn't bad. Really wasn't bad at all. I took a couple pictures on there, but like I said, I've already videoed it before, so I was good. And then we went over to Space Mountain for our Fast Pass time, and Space Mountain was broken. And they had a lot of workers out there just saying, you can come back. I said, what about my Fast Pass? They said, we'll honor it later. Just come on back, and you got the magic band, and you'll be able to get on through the Fast Pass later. I was like, okay. I was like, so really what? I was kind of pushing her. I was like, so really what happened? Someone throw up? And she is like, yeah. So anytime someone throws up, or if there's human excrements, again, not to be nasty, they have to do a thorough cleaning, and unfortunately that just shuts the whole ride down. But I was like, you got two sides. But they said, yeah, if they only open up one side, then the other side will be, just nope. They're taking care of it. They said, please come back. And they said, if you got the app on your phone, which I do, you can check to see if it's open or not. You don't have to keep walking back over. I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. So when I opened up the app on my phone, I was like, yeah, it showed it was closed. So we had, I made dinner reservations that day, which I was shocked to be able to make dinner reservations, because we tried to go to Be Our Guest. Wasn't happening. But I found this Italian restaurant called Tony's. Never heard of it before. And it is on Main Street as soon as you walk in. And I have been going to Disney since forever, right? And it's right there on Main Street. I never noticed it. I was surprised to even be able to get reservations, but usually a table of two isn't too bad. Wow. What good food. And here was the big bonus for me. They have beer. I did not think there was any alcohol in Magic Kingdom whatsoever, because I've asked about that before, I've got told the standard line at Magic Kingdom, we want to preserve the magic here. And I can see that. It's the most popular park there at Disney. More kids than ever. Everybody wants to go see the castle. I can get it. I think they do serve beer in the castle. There's a restaurant in the castle. I have eaten in there once, but it was years ago, so I don't remember. But to me, it was like a golden find, and my niece is laughing at me because I'm always a kid in a candy store. But talk about, holy crap, I found beer. So we got our food. The service was great. Gosh, our server was awesome. She was she was from Tennessee, and she put on like a Southern Italian accent when she walked up to us. Her name was Heather. So I usually don't say names on my show, but Heather will be safe because we all don't know each other. But she comes up and she's like, "Buongiorno," it's a little Southern accent, and she was super attentive. Couldn't ask for better service, and just had a great time. So after we stuffed ourselves for lunch, made our way back over to Space Mountain because it was open, and got on the Fast Pass. And I was like, I noticed a lot of people waiting in the Fast Pass line. And I was like, this ain't really going to be that Fast Pass because now everyone is going to be backed up from earlier getting in the line. But actually, no, because you have to, I guess I put two and two together. Not everyone is going to show back up at the same time, right? So we got in there, and maybe less than 5 minutes we had to wait. And we did a funny picture. It looks like I'm smacking the crap out of my niece because I know where the camera's at on Space Mountain. So I told her, all right, when we go around this corner, I'm going to put my hand up to your cheek. So when the picture's taken, it's looked like I smacked you. So you got to make a shock face. So we did the picture. It came out great. I saved it, of course. I didn't pay for it because, they want $70 for the day for your photos. And I said, I ain't paying $70 for one picture. But anyways, it was great. It's on my Instagram. I think it even made it into the YouTube video. It was a lot of fun. It looked like I popped her, but she's safe. I'm not mean that way. But had a good time. We had a little time to kill, so we got on a train ride, and we went around the park a couple times just to kind of relax, and then finished off Magic Kingdom with Thunder Mountain Railroad. And poor niece, gosh, it was cold that day. It really was. I was fine because I still wore shorts, but had a long sleeve jacket for the upper body, but she was freezing. So Thunder Mountain Railroad was fun, but at the same time a bad idea with it being so cold. She was covering up her ears, and she's not a touchy-feely person. So for her to lean into me to get the warmth off of me, it's like she must have been truly really cold, and she was like an icicle. So then afterwards we went to downtown Disney to meet up with a friend of mine and her daughter. And the place was jam-packed. I'm like, oh boy, great idea, Greg. Let's go to downtown Disney right at Christmas shopping time. But I figured with it being expanded, there'd be more. There is more places to eat. Maybe the lines wouldn't be that long. But all the parking garages were full. Ended up parking across the street, and then we're able to meet up at a designated location. And then we met up, and my niece and my friend's daughter hit it off, so I was happy about that. They're only a few years apart from each other. And then we started checking out restaurants. 2 hour wait, 2 hour wait, 2 hour wait. I was like, oh, man, this stinks, man. I was starting to feel nervous because I hadn't seen her in a while, and I didn't want her to think, oh, boy, this guy's a great planner. But we end up going to Paddlefish. They said it's only an hour wait, and it ended up being only 30 minutes. But in between, we were able to hit some shops and just look at some stuff. I don't think any of us bought anything. I mean, as much as I love Disney, I just don't do the collectible thing anymore. So we didn't really buy anything, but had dinner at Paddlefish, and it was funny because the three ladies all ordered like burgers or something. I'm the only one that got fish at a seafood restaurant. So I was like, oh, really? But just great talking, great interaction. Really hit it off with my friend's daughter, and she'd met me before, but she forgot. It'd been like 4 years since I've seen her, but we were having a blast. And then we went to Ghirardelli for dessert. Now I was too full; it just wouldn't happen. I couldn't even finish my dinner, so I ended up getting like some kind of salted caramel hot chocolate, which was awesome. I said, I want something a little warm. I'm not doing the dessert. Well, that is dessert, but not like ice cream or anything for Ghirardelli. I love Ghirardelli, but just wasn't happening that night. And then we just walked a little more around and parted ways. Had a great time. And then this person. And again, no name dropping here. We decided to go on a real date. So we had our second first date because no kids. So last time was kind of like a meetup. This time we had a first date. But she's a beautiful, fun, loving lady who is now my girlfriend. So the rest of the date story I'm going to keep to myself. Actually, as much of an open book as I am, I'm keeping just some things to myself because that's how special it is. So she's out there listening, and she knows who I'm talking about, and really, really enjoying this. So it's a early Christmas gift. News, items, and pop culture. So the Black Lightning promo is out, and it's going to be the new superhero show on the CW. Looks pretty cool. Black Lightning was actually a character on the Super Friends show. Those of you, so I'm dating myself a little bit. Those of you who remember the show from the 70s, 80s, he wasn't Black Lightning though. He was something else. Not the Black Panther. Don't get him confused because it's Marvel. This is the DC universe, but it looks cool. Hey, I'm a geek. I'm down. Looks cool. The Disney Fox deal happened, and this is a big deal, something worth like $50 billion. Disney bought out Fox, 20th Century Fox, or 21st Century Fox now. After the millennial change, they added a 1 to their name. So that includes all the movies and all the property rights that Fox has underneath their licensing. Does not include the news channels or sports, so they will still be Fox Business, Fox News Channel, I think it's called, yeah, and then Fox Sports. But all the movies are going over to Disney. Now, it doesn't mean the name is going away, but as far as licensing goes, that means that the X-Men and the Avengers can possibly team up for a future movie because the licenses have been separate for a long time. Disney bought Marvel a long time ago, so they still own the Marvel characters, but Fox had the licensing to X-Men. Just like Fox had the exclusive license to the original Star Wars A New Hope Episode 4. And what happened is that when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they lost their distribution rights for the rest of the films, so they dropped the 20th Century Fox fanfare before the beginning of Star Wars. And that really put a sour taste in my mouth. I was like, what's the big deal? Let them still distribute it, because that fanfare always fired me up for a Star Wars movie. And to have just Lucasfilm just kind of logo appear before the movie and then Star Wars starts, it's like, oh man, that's not the same. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, now that they have merged, that we can have the 20th Century Fox fanfare start at the beginning of Star Wars again. And that's just that would be a dream come true. I know it sounds so trivial, but you know, it's not trivial to me and other Star Wars fans out there. Ready Player One looks like an interesting movie. It's set in the near future, and everything is like so compact now. All the cities are built, buildings are built on top of each other, and the only way to escape all this menace is in a virtual reality world called the Oasis, and it's a mix of pop culture, mostly from the 80s, but you're going to see the big robot with the Back to the Future car and everything. So there's some kind of prize that they have to go after to win some money. And it looks interesting. The concept of the movie actually has been around from the 80s, but first of all, they just didn't have there was just too many licensing to deal with, so that halted the movie, plus the special effects that they got to do. There's just too many mishmash of movies, but hey, they're able to do it now, and looked pretty interesting. And the Avengers Infinity War trailer came out. Now, as much as I enjoy superhero movies, I personally believe we're getting towards the end of this run. It's been hot since the year 2000, literally. That's when X-Men came out and started this huge superhero thing, at least for Marvel. And I wasn't too excited anymore for superhero movies. At least I don't get as excited as I used to. But this Avengers trailer, if the movie is anything like this trailer, wow. I mean, watch the whole thing. I don't know why you'd only watch 30 seconds and click it off unless you really hate it. But jaw-dropping. Seriously. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. So definitely sparked my interest, and that comes out next May. But check out the link for the trailer on it below on my podcast page there. And then in some movie news here, got a couple things for you here. New Star Trek movie is in development with J.J. Abrams and Quentin Tarantino. He would like to direct it, and he wants to make it rated R. So yes, Chris Pine and the new Star Trek crew will star in it, but he wants to make this a rated R movie, and rumors are based it'll be off the Mirror Universe. So if you know anything about Star Trek and the Mirror Universe, sounds really interesting, and it'll be the first ever rated R Star Trek movie. Now, whether the studio buys into that, we'll find out. I can see them lowering it down to PG-13 with some editing, but we'll see how it goes. And John Wick 3 is pre-production has started. I usually don't do pre-production announcements because it really doesn't mean anything until they actually start filming the movie. But John Wick has been so awesome. Talk about bringing back the classic gunfight, but not even classic. This is a modern gunfight. Now, yeah, it's over the top in Hollywood and everything, but boy, does it look good. All right, so let's move into some headlines. These are always fun. These are always interesting. And today's Darwin Award goes to the man who accidentally killed himself after taking the pin out of a grenade and then posing to take a photo with it. Yeah, I saw the picture of the dead corpse. To try to take us. Most of y'all know I can't stand selfies to start with. I am just not a selfie person. Now and then I'll do one. But he took a selfie with the grenade pin pulled out and ended up killing him. Dummy. Candidate for Landlord of the Year tries to evict a 100-year-old woman from rent-controlled apartment. Yeah, that's really nice of you, especially around Christmas time. Everything old is new again. MTV is bringing back Jersey Shore with the original cast because they have yet to find anybody willing to start in Oh My Balls. Some pecker wants to buy Time magazine. That's one way to guarantee being named Man of the Year. Liam Gallagher tells crowd in New York that Americans only know one Oasis song, and then I said, maybe. Wawa is opening its first store in Washington, D.C. It'll feature interactive digital screen where customers can upload photos and messages that will flicker inside the store. What could possibly go wrong? At first, I was like, where's this going? Now we know where it's going. Someone's going to get nasty. That's my prediction. We talked about this, but it's in a headline. Disney buys 21st Century Fox for $52 billion, which means that they'll own the Alien franchise, which means that the xenomorphs born from the Queen are now actually Disney princesses. Let that think in for a minute, and you cannot argue with that, my fellow geeks and nerds. The aliens are now princesses. NASA finds distant star circled by 8 planets equal to the number in our own solar system. A first, Pluto's been sulking and mumbling to itself in the corner. U.S. Navy's new stealth ship promptly suffers breakdown. Navy is confident that they can repair her just as soon as they can find her. You can't find the stealth ship? Nah, they're just kidding. They can find it. But, stealth ship, get it? Har, 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 har. Scientists say sex between snow monkeys and Sika deer may be a new behavioral tradition. And you know how tough these holidays traditions are to resist. Someone's going to go Google that. I have not. Dick Van Dyke turns 92. In other news, Dick Van Dyke is still alive? And Apple, shall we say, faces problems with the iPhone X users not trusting Face ID to work. Marketing confronts it by enlisting Apple-loving hipster to shave lumberjack beard, demonstrate Face ID works great before and after. And Netflix is bringing back She-Ra. No word yet on the reboot of ISIS. Again, another 70 references for those of you who've been around for a while. And always in some lovable Florida news, my home state, home of the wacky news. Florida's favorite grocer now offers booze delivery. Florida headline features skyrocket. And today's Darwin Award goes to the man who accidentally killed himself after taking the pin out of a grenade and then posing to take a photo with it. So again, this happened in Florida. I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention. I double headline this, but now it happened in Florida. Makes sense. A friend helps you move. A true friend helps you move a dead body. A friendly coworker helps you by holding the gun you've used in your serial killing without telling the police. I guess this coworker wasn't friendly. And look out, Tampa serial killer, former Bubba the Love Sponge radio show producer is now on your trail to make a citizen's arrest. But, of course, they caught the so-called suspect. He's not guilty till proven, but the serial killer has been captured, at least let's hope so. So that'll wrap it up for news items, pop culture, and headlines. Movie news. Now, this is our movie review. Movie news. We did movie news. Movie review. I got one here for you, and this was the most anticipated movie of the year for me. And what could it be? Care Bears? No, I'm just kidding. It's, of course, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and this is the 8th episode in the main series involving the Skywalker family, the Skywalker timeline. And let's go ahead and talk about it. So here's the premise. Star Wars The Last Jedi, the Skywalker saga continues as Heroes of the Force Awakens joins the galactic legends in an epic adventure that unlocks old mysteries in the Force and shocking revelations of the past. It is rated PG-13 for sequence of sci-fi action and violence. Falls in the action-adventure drama, science fiction, and fantasy genre. So drama genre, tongue-tying there. Has a runtime of 1 hour and 52 minutes. It is the longest Star Wars movie to this date. And here are the grades. The critics gave it an A-. The peeps have given it an F-. That's a shocker. And me, I'm giving it a B-. In my opinion, it was barely good, and this is the hardest review for me to ever do because it's good. It's just not great, and let's go ahead and tell you why. And let's start with the positives. Always believe in the positives first. Mark Hamill was absolutely incredible in this movie. He hasn't always been known to be the best actor in the past. He actually became a very successful voice actor, which I think helped him. But he blew my socks off in this movie. Daisy Ridley was wonderful again and just cute as a button. And Adam Driver as Kylo Ren just delivered. There were many, many wow moments. Just jaw-dropping, shocking, cool. You know, we're still on the positives here, so that's not negative. And I love seeing the Millennium Falcon. That ship, the sound of it, how just badass that ship is. It was so great to see that ship again. Love the Millennium Falcon. So those were the positives. Here's the negative. The humor was forced. It didn't feel natural. I mean, yes, there were a couple humor scenes that felt natural, but too many forced humor. And when you force humor, it just doesn't work. The biggest issue I had with this movie was serious lack of character development. Everyone was just kind of like around, like you just expected them just to troll along. I wanted to see their character expand. I wanted to learn more about them. And everyone in this movie just seemed to be there. And I don't know how else to explain it without spoiling it. It didn't go into deeper than it should have. It doesn't have to go ultimate deep. We don't have to get all Zen Buddha here, but just, come on, do something more. Too many useless action scenes, and things that just didn't make sense, and too many things left unexplained again. Yes, they did tie up some things. They did. But the character development and things unexplained, a lot of that goes hand in hand. That ties in together. And it just... that's where it's seriously lacked. And this doesn't affect a grade. This was just a personal peeve of mine. But not enough C-3PO, not enough R2-D2, and not enough Chewbacca. Chewbacca is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. I love Chewie. He's a pivotal part of this series. And I would have loved to see more of him. And he wasn't in it enough for my taste. And, but again, it doesn't affect the grade. So that is my reason for B-. I've talked to other friends who feel the same way, who are also Star Wars fans. Definitely want to see it again. I just don't know if I'm going to go see it 5 times like I plan to. Because we did talk about things that we missed, things that didn't make sense, because they did touch on a couple things, but I missed it. Because you know how it is. You're so immersed in the movie, some things just fly right over your head. Excuse the pun. But so yeah, I hate to give it a B-, and that's really because I'm a fanboy. But the most fans now that the movie's been out for a few days they're not being too good to this movie, giving it an F-. I personally think F- is really harsh. But, they say about opinions. And go see this movie. Don't let my B- tell you to not go see this movie. If you want to see this movie, go see this movie. I'm going to go see it again. So if that's any indicator to you, just don't have the highest expectations. And a lot of people don't know this. On a side note, Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, is a United States Marine. Yep, he served in the Marine Corps and got out and became an actor. So pretty cool on that front. So B- for The Last Jedi. Tech news, Atari Box. Yes, Atari. Remember Atari? Well, they're back into the hardware business now. The company has changed ownership many, many times. I don't even care about who's the company owner now, but Atari is still around. They're getting back in the hardware console business, and this new console coming out is supposed to be an 80s-style console that will play the Atari classics and also new PC-style-like games or maybe even console-like games. It's running a Linux OS, and it'll actually include some video games, though there has been no detail on it. But it'll also be a streaming and multimedia and web browsing box, kind of like the Xbox or PlayStation 4. Pre-orders are available soon. I'm just surprised by this price, $250 to $300. Yeah, it puts it in line with some of the consoles out there, but yeah, I don't know if there's going to be enough desire just for that price. Because retro is cool right now. It really is. Retro has come back big time. A lot of arcades are starting to come back with the old school 80s, 90s games in it. I found one in New York when I was there last time and had a blast. Talk about a trip down memory lane. But I don't know, because I've talked about the Raspberry Pi before on this show, and for $50-$60, you can buy this device off of Amazon and download some games off the internet and have hundreds, possibly even thousands of games playing on this one little Pi. So I don't, and it doesn't even involve a lot of techie work. It does. Yeah, you got to have some computer knowledge, but nothing crazy. So I can't see people spending $250, $300 for a retro game and then to play other games I can play on every other console out there. So we'll see. Pre-order is supposed to be soon. They delayed it, but we'll find out. I'll keep you up to date on that. iPhone X face lock on problem. First, identical twins were able to unlock their siblings' iPhone X with their faces. Now it appears that two women who were unrelated were also able to pull off the same trick. Two ladies from China were able to prove that they can unlock the phone with either one of their face, and they were appalled to find out about this. But when they went to the Apple Store, they denied it at first, and then they showed them, and then they said, well, maybe you guys are just long-lost sisters, was their explanation or something. But that's not good. And I love Apple. I'm a big Apple fan, but that face unlock thing just scares me. I don't have an iPhone 10, not interested in it right now. I'm good with my 7 Plus. But we'll see what they do with this, and that is scary, because anyone can just grab your phone, put it up to your face, and maybe run off with it. I don't know. Some people thought about, like, when you get arrested and say you refuse to comply with the police, and you don't have to unlock your phone just because a police officer asks you to, but then they can just take that phone, put it up to your face, bloop, they get in anyways. But and that's just one example of how it can be used against you. But we'll see. We'll see if Apple does anything about it. You can shut off that feature I've been told about, but I can't tell you much more about it on the personal use side, because I just don't own one yet. But maybe next year. We'll see. I'll get the iPhone 11. Bye 747. I'm a big plane fan. Always have been. You almost think I would have joined the Air Force, but no regrets joining the Marines, because the Marines have their own Air Force. But the 747, the iconic jumbo jet, which came out in 1968, just had its last American flight, and Delta is retiring the last remaining 747 for its Seoul to Detroit route. This marks the last time the 747 will be used on a commercial flight in an American carrier, because Lufthansa and a couple other foreign companies still use them. But for Americans, they're done. They said Boeing will continue building the 747s as a freight carrier for certain clients who still need a 4-engine behemoth. Additionally, specifically outfitted 747s has been used for Air Force One since 1990. But there's no signs of that changing. As airlines and air freighters continue increasingly move to smaller twin-engine aircraft in order to save fuel, demands for the 747s have waned. At its peak in 1990, Boeing produced 122 of these planes within a year. Recently, however, overall air cargo business have been slowing down, and there's less demand for such a large plane. The original 747 was a key to jump-starting affordable mass-market air travel in the U.S. The 747 made flying available for everyone. He continued, and this is Mike Lombardi, who's a company historian. The 747 gave wings to the world. The plane is capable of carrying as many as 600 passengers, and because it was able to complete long-haul intercontinental flights in a reasonable time, it helped connect people to the countries they never dreamed possible to visit before. And farewell, Queen of the Skies, and that's what the 747 is called, the Queen of the Skies. I've flown on her several times, and it is a fantastic jet. Huge. It's got an upstairs. How many planes? Have you ever been on a plane that has an upstairs? You know, that's cool. I mean, it's first class, but I still walked up there anyway. I'm not shy. But, I mean, you can get up and literally go for a walk. I mean, when I flew to Japan from LA to Osaka, 14-and-a-half-hour flight. You're not going to sit in your seat for 14 and a half hours. I got up and went for a walk several times. That's how big the plane is. But it's sad to see it go, and that's really what it comes down to. Twin engines are just more efficient in fuel, and trying to fuel four engines just uses up a lot of gas, and, you know, the cost of gas isn't what it used to be, and that's one of the main decisions. Plus, they couldn't fill the things. More airlines want smaller, you know, fill the planes, 120, 150 passenger jets, you know, load them up, and direct flights. I mean, 747 does direct flights too, but even just like within the States, there hasn't been a domestic passenger 747 flight in years. I don't think they've done that since the 90s, actually. So yeah, like the 737, Boeing 737, and the Airbus A320 is just dominating the market right now because that's what people want. They want medium twin engine planes that'll get you to small airport to big airport, vice versa, whatever. But it's sad, you know. Love the 747, and that's why I included it in today's tech news.
Geek Talk.
Ineffable is the Geek Talk word of the week. I almost had a hard time saying that. Ineffable. But what it means, it's an indescribable word. It's too great to be expressed in words, even though it is a word. So you are saying it. I don't come up with this stuff, all right? I just pick it. But to put it in a sentence, do not dare utter the ineffable or blasphemous word to God. So you don't say bad things to God, right? You got a little respect here, I guess. I don't know. Ah, boy. Anyways, that'll go ahead and get us to the final part of the show, the song of the week. And surprise, surprise, I picked another Seal song, and it is called Heavenly. And this is off of his 2003 record, Seal 4, his fourth record. So a little older, you know, early 2000s, but one of the many aspects, attributes, whatever about my new girlfriend is that she actually told me she really likes Seal, and that really made my heart warm without sounding too corny, cheesy, whatever. I said corny with a C. Those of you who are thinking something else. Anyways, I don't know too many people who like Seal. I mean, and I don't know any people who say they hate Seal. It's just he's not really that mainstream. People do know of Seal, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's like super mega popular. But he is by far my favorite artist, and closely behind him is Billy Joel and Sting. I would have a hard time picking. So all those three great artists are incredible, and seen them all in concert and never disappointed. But this song just is my life right now, especially having with this new lady in my life who's just absolutely incredible, and you know, I'm gonna dedicate this song to her. So enjoy, baby, and I can't wait to see you soon. So that'll go ahead and wrap up this show, and this will be the final show of the year. So I will not be talking to you guys until next year, but please send any feedback to, or comments, suggestions. Tell me you love it. Tell me you hate it at akebonoradio@gmail.com. I have a link for my YouTube page, so I will do an audio-only version of this podcast once I get around to editing it later, but those of you who are listening now are most likely listening it off of my website, akebonoradio.com. But you all have a great and blessed Christmas, Hanukkah, and Happy New Year, and I will be talking to you soon. Later.
Northern sun, we're walking down that same avenue. Throw me a lifeline, won't you please? I'm watching the news, but I'm not at ease. Throw me a lifeline, won't you please? Come to the place where I used to play and put on your peace whites for a day. Look at the radios in the sun. Can you let it pass you by? Heavenly, can't you see? Feels like yesterday's here now. Heavenly, trust in me. Feels like yesterday now. I look at the world and it's heavenly. I see a miracle place to be. Why is it anyone has to die? Did they ever ask you why? When will you talk about being free? And pain isn't all that it's meant to be. Hanging another one out to dry. Is there any reason why? Heavenly, can't you see? Feels like yesterday's here now. Heavenly, trust in me. Feels like yesterday now. Feel like waking up again. Northern sun, we're walking down that same avenue. I look at the world and it's heavenly. All of the things that it's meant to be. Some of us suffering, all divine. Hearing Mother Nature cry. Love me a little more.